Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We're going to continue our journey in, this year-end edition, special edition that I translated from 36 Stratagem. And it's my version of translation. So there are total 36 stratagems in wartime. That's somebody over generations, literary man scholars summarized it into 36. So last time we talked about 抛砖引玉. Basically, is to deplete your enemy's resources by throwing out bricks, which is less valuable, and in hope of attracting their fight back with a more expensive weapon, which is jade. So all of these, we use symbols. We don't take things literally here. Okay, today we talked about 借刀杀人, which is pretty horrifying image, pretty evil, but it's formulated as one of the strategies. Okay, so 借, we have borrow. You have left and right side. The left side is the stock figure almost of the Chinese characters, human figure, and then the right side. Well, this I never seen anything like that before. It's like a triangle, a pointy shape, and two of them stack up together. It almost like okay, so you draw a line, right, and then this breaks the line. Never seen anything like that before, but apparently it was simplified to just two lines and two vertical lines go through it in contemporary Chinese, but originally have this interesting feature. And according to some scholars, that means the leftover from the meat left over, or seasoned meat, something like that. Imagine back then, no refrigerator, right? And to keep your protein intake, they have to come up with some not method to preserve them. So this dry them up and season them is one way, and that's the majority type of meat intake they could afford back then, because not every day you have fresh meat, right? So in days when you don't have a new capture, this is the way to keep the energy going, I guess. So in this symbol, these here kind of like I really imagine like a broken bones or something like that. But it meant to be the dry meat hanging up somewhere. So that's your airborne refrigerator, maybe. And then the bottom is, okay, it looks like the sun, right? It's the kind of not exactly oval shape, but kind of a boxy with a round corner, but with one horizontal line in the middle. So it looks like sun. And according to scholars, the leftover meat can be counted as the leftover meat have to pass 1 day and night. So 24-hour old or older meat. So this is that icon, and eventually that icon alone used to mean something from the past, because this meat definitely was captured way before 20 hours before and then preserved, as that's the representing some event happened in the past. It's not like a here and now. It may be here, but it didn't happen now. So that's the past symbol, actually. So we have this person. So this is something happened with people, and then we have this past symbol, which came from this dried meat. And my interpretation is today this word means borrow, and I would imagine it's like people between households, they may not have an even distribution or consumption of meat. Some families, households may have more of it than others, and others, when they run out, they have to go to their neighbors to borrow. So this word actually in the past, there's no borrow or lend, like you take in or lend out. There's no directional. But in contemporary Chinese, 借 in 借刀杀人, okay, I haven't pronounced the whole thing yet. It was specifically means you borrow, not lend, but in the past, I suppose, directions. Okay, so I think in the past, borrowing meat is the main things that you need to borrow is because, well, today is like a borrow money, right? Capital, because things like meat is no longer an issue. The whole supply chain, at least the hunger issue was not very present in a contemporary life. So borrow nowadays mostly for currency. So, but in the past, mostly borrow the leftover meat, the dried meat, because that's what you gotta have. You cannot miss it to sustain life, right? Okay, so that's 借. Dao is a visual representation of the type, the knife. I translate as a dagger because knife can be used as cooking ware, but dagger for sure, that's one purpose of that, it was to kill. But it's the same structure. I mean, the icon looks like you have a handle here and then you have two edges, right? But Dao in Chinese specifically means one edge. One edge that's sharp. It can be used as separator of meat or bones. So this is our dagger icon. And the sha, we have this kill symbol in contemporary is it's almost intuitive, right? In English or in West culture as well as in Chinese, this cross diagonal lines means get rid of somebody, right? And in that I find amazing, like, oh, back then, like thousands of years ago, tens of thousands of years ago, when language was created or formed over the years, right? It was not instantly out there, everything complete. It's an evolution, or after iterations of use, eventually some are left with us, some disappear, right? So that's the process. But this kill, this cross was there as language creators back then, seeing the same idea of getting rid of some body, some people, fellow human beings with this icon. So that's something amazing, I find. Okay, the right side is the hand symbol, three-finger hand symbol. And you can kind of see here is another hand symbol, right? Kind of looking like that. And this is some ancient tool, supposedly is also able to kill. So there is a result of kill. This is the tool used and involved with people. And this tool, this shape means separation. So maybe separate the body parts. I'm not sure what this horizontal line is. Something holding in hand as well. So there are some, horrifying pictures in this frame that language creators used to mean it's about killing of fellow human beings. If it's an animal, there are other words in use, the other verbs, but kill people, that action dedicated to people is this. Okay, so there we go, people, 人. 人, we have this, simplified, streamlined, sideways placed, skinnier version of 人, but in the full frame, just by itself, I call it a generic 人 because there's no gender assignment, most likely it's man, because woman you don't get to see in your normal life. This person, I don't know why it was formulated in that way. It's almost like this side is straight, this side was a little bit curved, so it's almost like both genders embodied in this one. image, it could be, but it looks sort of like the English letter R, right? Okay, so put together, what does that mean? Borrow dagger, kill people. So it seems like, okay, you don't really have weapons, so you have to go to borrow from somebody. And then with that borrowed weapon, you kill people. Wrong. Okay. 借刀杀人 in Chinese in particular, it means you don't get your hand bloody at all. You're using somebody else. According to the, I mean, imagine the wartime back then, right? It's okay. So back then, when there were warring states, meaning multiple regimes coexisting, and they have shared borderlines. And I mean, over the time, eventually they are not friendly anymore, right? So thus war starts. So this killing is not the homicide in mind. It's about a warring strategy. So in wartime, always you have you as one party, your enemy, somebody you want to battle with, second party, and then there's a third party, which is somebody not directly involved in this warfare, and they have to choose their siding with which one, right? So that third party is the one that you're going to borrow the dagger from them and let them kill or attack. 人 is your enemy in this sense. So 刀 is your friend, your friendly party is not your enemy, not your opposing side, but they may be, they're not directly in this war. So it's in a way, not directly impact. I mean, I couldn't say that, but they're not directly warring with the enemy. But this is one approach for the leaders, whoever deploying this stratagem, is to involve the third party to attack the enemy so that your resources are preserved. And in time of like maybe after that, and then you attack, I don't exactly know, but using the third party to deplete or to attack your enemy, to weaken your enemy. So that's what the strategy is talking about. It doesn't, I mean, dagger, yes, it means force, right? Using somebody else's force to strike, and Ren is your enemy here. Okay, so I try to find English concept and try very hard to just use one English word to capture the sense of this phrase, because 借刀杀人, see, we have 4 characters, and actually each formulated 4-character phrase got even backed by some stories to provide further context to understand. And attempting to capture this in just one English concept is pretty challenging, but I'm trying to do that here. And if you have better English translation, please let me know. And while I was searching for 借刀杀人, this phrase, this movie came up, and I think Collateral is the one possible understanding in the English, framework. Collateral is, it's in English we often say collateral damage, right? In this sense, in this context, it would be collateral force. It's like not exactly direct force from you, but your collateral, and use that collateral kind of lever, right? So leverage that collateral can be beneficial. Like that's a good strategy, right? That's 借刀杀人. Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.